There. Welcome, this is Sig Taylor with Fish Out Loud. In a moment, I'm going to show you some fish catch in action, and stay to the end how I'm going to explain to you how I fished my very first bass nation here in Florida on Lake Wimico and the Apalachicola River system. And I'm going to go through and explain how I was able to catch the fish that I did and end up taking 5th place in a place that I've never even fished before, okay? Hey, if you don't mind, take a moment, give me a thumbs up right now. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. And also, after you're done with everything, take a look at the merch that I've got. This one happens to be a hero, find your own fish, and that's exactly what I did. So get ready, let's go. There he is.
Man, he looks different than the rest of them. He's kind of got, almost looks like he came out of a lake.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Gotcha. Gotcha. Number 3. It's a monster here. Let me hold it up closer. See how big he is? All right. Remember, you're just one cast away. Gee, that felt good. You sucker, Sig. Gosh darn it. Fudge. Gosh darn it. Darn. I got bit. I thought I was on that freaking outside. Thought I was on that outside route. Darn it. Oh. There he is.
Nice net.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get the net.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah. Look at this thing. All right. All right. Woo. I'm telling you, I'm getting a little concerned here. All right, look at this thing, man. It's a monster. Woo. All right, woo. There we go, nice one there, baby. I'll take this thing. About time. Telling you right now. Trick worm, pumpkin, dipped it all in black. Texas rig. Let's go here. Come on, what's going on here? Oh. All right, here we go, baby. You're just one cast away. This thing's going to live well for sure. All right, conditions. Big front had just come through. It was a cold front here as it was coming through the lake, Wimico area, that what I call the in the corner of Florida. Fishing my first bass nation. I'm in the back of my truck thinking, what am I gotten myself into? But here's a little more to the backstory. I spent 2 days pre-fishing Lake Wimico. I caught a hybrid striped bass, and that was about it. On the second day pre-fishing Lake Wimico, I was going from spot to spot looking around, and I'm in an area where mullet are jumping, literally. It's not a very big lake. It's just a little bit north, about 10 miles north of Port St. Joe, Florida, okay? And I see these mullet jumping. And I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing here? So as I drove back home, I started to say to myself, okay, listen, I got to get out of this brackish, salt water, tidal water. I don't even know what I'm doing, where to even begin. But if I can get into the river, the Apalachicola River, and get high enough up, I can get out of all that stuff. And I'll just do what I do best, just figure the thing out as I go. So that's exactly what I did. I got on Google Maps, started looking, found a creek that I liked. I said, okay, this looks pretty good. And what it is, I went back as far as I could to it, and then it kind of it branched off, okay, each way. So I said, okay, looks like a good spot. So I drew a great guy. I call him Captain Force. It was Chris. He's a military, Air Force. He's a captain. So it was really great to have somebody, first responder. You know what I like about first responders, okay? I'm very appreciative of what they do for us. So Chris, we get to our spot. I'm throwing reaction baits, spinner baits. I'm throwing the G-Funk baits, the G-Rig, which is an Alabama rig, but on steroids. I mean, it's awesome, the G-Rig. And I'm just trying to get reaction fish. Well, that cold front just shut those fish right down. And Chris, when he caught his third bass, I hadn't even been bit yet, I said to myself, okay, hand it over. And what was Chris throwing at the time? He was throwing a black trick worm. Black. That's it. So he had a couple different setups. He had Texas rig. He also had it and drop shot. But what these fish are doing on the cypress trees, okay, and the creek dropped off into anywhere from 6 to 12 foot of water. And these cypress trees, I just try to find little bit of a point or something, and we just pitch them to the cypress trees and let it drop. Now, here's my other problem I ran into as I'm fishing. Okay, I probably got bit 6 to 8 times that I didn't even know there was a fish, because the cypress trees have those trunks that come out a ways. So I just kept lifting, and I go, is that the knee of the root, or is that a fish? And then you just pull hard enough, and it was a fish. They'd let go of it. So definitely cold front conditions, post front, cold conditions. These fish, they weren't letting it know. So towards the end, I had caught 3 bass at this point, and Chris had 3 bass. I decided to put some juice on my worms, and I love Thump Gel. Thump Gel is a small little company out of Lake Gunnersville, Upper Alabama, and just remember that name, Thump Gel. Okay, so I put some of that on. Caught that fourth fish, he ate it. Caught the 5th fish, he ate it. So right away, that increased my odds. So what did I use? We used black trick worms, a little, just how innocent is that? Just black, no special colors, no special flakes, just black. I'm kind of finding out these Florida bass like that color. I Texas rigged it, and I put a bobber stop up about 3 inches. I like my weight just to kind of go 3 inches, kind of lets it fall, but that weight doesn't go all the way up any higher. What's a bobber stop? Just go to your local tackle store and say, hey, I need to know what a bobber stop is. But bobber stop's very easy to apply, and you can adjust this bobber stop. So if I wanted that weight to go 6 inches, I do 6 inches. Okay, used, again, this trick worms. But I also found out, I bought a lot of black worms, okay? I also found out that they have a Magnum trick worm, which is 8 inches. And I like this. I can't wait to go back next year, okay, and fish that Apalachicola River again. And that's a monster one. I also bought a finesse one. It's a Magnum Finesse Black, where it's just a lot shorter. It's like 5 inches. So I even bought black Cincos. I don't really think it matters as long as it's wintertime. It's freezing cold. They like black. For me, it was Texas rig, but I would also do it in a drop shot. I'd have no problem with that. Chris ended up taking, I believe, 4th place. He only had 4 fish that day. And so remember, cold front conditions, slow it down. I get really excited. I love reaction baits, but man, I should have started immediately knowing what the conditions had done, shut these bass down as they were hugged up against the trees. And I have something called Sinaloa, safety in numbers, law of averages. So the more I pitched to the cypress trees, the better chances I had of getting hooked up. All right, I was excited. My first Bass Nation. I've got Lake Seminole next, so stay tuned. And guys, remember, you're always just one cast away